Hello and welcome back to the F1 Journal and to the Hungarian Grand Prix qualifying review, which saw Lewis Hamilton yet again take pole position in what was his 90th F1 pole, with Mercedes being 1 second clear of their rivals. Racing Point locked out the second row ahead of Ferrari. However, Max Verstappen was only 7th to Red Bull when Russell out-qualified Albon in the Williams. But yes, back to Lewis Hamilton, who claimed pole position for the Hungarian Grand Prix by edging out Valtteri Bottas as Mercedes streaked clear of their rivals, with Racing Point locking out the second row. Mercedes, who have been the class of the field throughout the Budapest weekend, were even more dominant in Saturday's shootout, and with Red Bull facing completely out of the fight, Q3 turned out to be head-to-head between Hamilton and Bottas for pole. While Bottas improved on his final lap, it wasn't enough to beat an in-form Hamilton, who took his incredible 90th F1 pole by acting his last effort with a 1:13.4, a 10th ahead of title rival and teammate Valtteri Bottas. Valtteri doesn't make it easy for me at all, so it requires absolute perfection when doing laps, and qualifying like that is one of the things I enjoy most, said Hamilton. Sky F1's Martin Brundle remarked, "What a car that must be to drive." Brundle said Mercedes are in a league of their own, a statement backed up by their huge advantage on Saturday, almost a second ahead of their closest challenger. That turned out to be Lance Stroll in the first Racing Point, with Sergio Perez just behind as a Silverstone-based outfit whose car has been protested by Renault due to its alleged similarities to last year's Mercedes took the scalps of their more fancied rivals. Ferrari sealed their best qualifying result of the season, with Sebastian Vettel and Charles Leclerc locking out the third row, while Red Bull fancied coming into the weekend as pole contenders endured a painful Saturday. Max Verstappen, on pole last year, will only be starting 7th on the starting grid at the Hungaroring in 2020, and teammate Alex Albon, who was knocked out in Q2, only 13th in a particularly twitchy RB16. He was even out-qualified by George Russell, with the young Englishman who has recently confirmed that he will stay with Williams for the 2021 season starring. Both Williams' cars made it through to Q2 for the first time since the 2018 Italian Grand Prix. While Bottas and Hamilton won the season opening races in Austria, both Mercedes and the F1 paddock were expecting a much closer battle for the silver arrows heading into the Hungaroring. Red Bull claimed Mercedes' main gain at the start of the season was engine power, and it was through the tight and twisty Budapest circuit described as a Red Bull track by Hamilton, which would surely play into the hands of other teams. But that theory was looking questionable on Friday and totally blown out of the water in Saturday. Mercedes looked comfortable in every qualifying segment and were utterly untouchable when turning the engines out for the final shootout, with both Hamilton and Bottas taking lines and corner speeds that were unseen in other cars. Mind-blowing as Paul di Resta's summation of the 1 second advantage in the end of Q3. As impressive as Mercedes were, Red Bull were disappointing. So often the team has developed a car which has struck around the Hungaroring's chicane and corners, but neither Verstappen or Albon have appeared at ease during a weekend which has been characterised by spins and radio rants. Even after Red Bull broke the overnight curfew to work on setup changes, the drivers simply didn't have the pace to come through during qualifying. They just escaped Q1, but Albon wasn't as fortunate in the second segment. The British-born Thai driver was angry with his team for sending him out for his final run, but whether he would have improved is doubtful considering his pace up to that point. Every one-lap's skills of Verstappen couldn't avoid the team surprising sink into the midfield on the grid, behind both Racing Points and Ferraris. Racing Points' rise has been remarkable, and while the car attracts off-track criticism from their rivals, Stroll and Perez delivered on it. The Canadian finished just ahead of his experienced teammate throughout qualifying. Just behind them, Ferrari, with those new aerodynamic parts introduced without great success in Austria, making more of an impact in Hungary. A much needed boost for their Scuderia and their under-pressure drivers. While not leading the midfield, Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz ensured both McLaren cars have made it through to Q3 in every qualifying session to start the season, ahead of Pierre Gasly, who had engine issues in the end of Q2, so he couldn't take part in the shootout. Rain is expected for Sunday, which could add an intriguing variable for Sunday's race. One driver hoping for a shower is Russell, who followed up a stonking Q1 lap, which had him as high as third at one point, with an effort good enough to secure 12th on the grid. And finally, the qualifying classification. Lewis Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas, Lance Stroll and Sergio Perez locked out the front two rows. I think everyone will be happy with that, and Vettel and Leclerc should also be happy considering where the car's been recently. Verstappen, Norris and Sainz may be a bit disappointed, maybe even Gasly too with the engine issues. Renault and Alex Albon will be disappointed not to make it into Q3. However, Nicholas Latifi and George Russell will be delighted. But Magnussen, Grosjean, Giovinazzi, Raikkonen and Kvyat all out in Q1 will be disappointed, especially Kvyat with the pace of his teammate. But anyway guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. And remember to follow us on Twitter, link in the description below. Also, if you could subscribe to my other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace!